students take it away in their presentations. I will unmute them one at a time so they can do their presentation. We do have a donate link that is in our events, and I'll share it at the chat at the very end. I'm not going to share it now because of the spamming that's happening, but you'll see it, and we'll also share it on Facebook because we do appreciate your donations. All right, Elsa, go ahead.
Okay, hi everyone. My name is Elsa. I am the creative director this semester for Millikin Creates, and I'm going to be doing a really quick little 5-minute tutorial on how to create kind of like a clip art style illustration based on a photograph. And this is just a picture of my cat that I took, the other day. And I decided to just illustrate over this, so I use it sort of as a guide. So what I first did, I just imported the image into this. I just clicked File, Open, and opened the image, and then resized it onto the size that I want. Next, hold on. I'm going to lock the layer so that I can't move it around while I'm working on it. And what I do is I create a new layer, and you can use this here is called the pen tool, and that's like my favorite thing in Illustrator. You can do everything with it. You don't need like a tablet or anything. You just use your mouse and you can create lots of little illustrations. So what I first did, I'll show you the final product, but I just outlined the face. You can just click and drag to create like whatever shape that you want whenever you're illustrating, like completely outline the entire thing, and that's what I did. So you can make it as detailed as you want, make little, artistic like fluff, whatever. So that was my first step, and this is what I made. It's very simple, as you can see, and I'm not illustrating the entire thing, just the head. Next, I just started kind of going over her features, and I started with the nose. I did the exact same thing. I just lined over her nose and created a few different layers that way. And then, let's see, for her eyes, I actually did the exact same thing. I just kind of made like a little swoop, kind of made it a little more artistic and chose a color that was based on the actual natural color, and then I just edited it. So the way that I did that is you use the eyedropper tool. You can click on the color that you want, and then it's saved, and you can adjust it from there. And I just made it a little darker than normal. So that's where her eyes came out. Starting to take shape. And then, let's see, for her stripes, I just did it like very roughly because you don't need to make it like super detailed whenever it's a little clip art piece. So I just kind of followed like all the weird little natural squigglies on her face and made it look a little bit more like a tabby. The colors I chose were just kind of like exaggerated based on an orange tabby. Next, for her mouth, what I'm doing here, I'm actually going to add a gradient to the little white spots on her mouth so it's not so exaggerated. You can add a gradient to any shape that you make in Illustrator by clicking on it, going to the gradient, click the gradient, and then you can choose the colors that you want within it. So I'm using this color picker. I choose this color, then I choose the other side. You can choose what kind of gradient you want, and I want radial. And you can drag how much of the color you actually want within it. So I'm going to make it pretty strong. So once I have that little gradient, I can actually drag it over to other pieces by clicking on the piece, click the eyedropper, and then click the shape, and it just transfers the entire thing. So it's really quick. I'm going to do that for those. So there we just kind of have like simple little face here, happy sleeping. And then the last thing I'm doing here, I add the ear shape to give it a little more 3D. Makes it look a little more complete. And then I went with like a warm color scheme, and I added a background here, which is kind of goes along with the orange. This you do by going to your shape tool, go to rectangle, and then you can literally just draw the square in, and that covers the entire thing. Next, I actually used the shape tool instead and started adding little colorful sparkles and stuff. So you can click the ellipse tool, hold down shift and drag, and it'll make perfect circles. And I did that all over, just kind of added like a little swirl of happy, colorful, kind of like Christmas lights out of focus. And then, let's see. Next, I do kind of like a little badge thing underneath her to make her stand out, in which this is what it looks like at the end. But you use your pen tool again, choose where you want to start drawing, make a pretty rough shape. It doesn't have to be perfect. And then you go back to the gradient. Let's see. I want it to be linear. Choose colors. Let's see that. And then you can change the angle of it as well so that it stands upright or goes upside down. In my case, I want it kind of like this. You can drag it up or down, whatever you want. And then whenever you click out, then it just kind of makes like a nice little background. You can do that for all sorts of things. You know, this is pretty rough, but whenever you want to get really specific, you can add a lot of these gradients and overlap them, and it looks really cool. That adds like a lot of cool effects to the picture. And then lastly, I'm going to show you how to type on a path. So rather than just, putting text in and it's flat, you can create like a path just with your pen tool, like we've been doing. And then you choose your type tool and hold down, you can click type on a path. And then once you do that, if you just click on it, you can start typing. I can be like sweet dreams. Oops. Change the angle. You can choose one of the colors, go with it. Put it in the right spot. There we go. So that is my demonstration for now. I hope you learned something or had some entertainment out of it. And that's all. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Elsa, for that. It was really great to see you actually work and how you think about your illustration skills. I forgot to announce when I introduced you that Elsa is actually the creative director for Millikin Creates. So when you put in a work order for Millikin Creates, she's definitely involved in most of the projects in some way or another. So thank you, Elsa. I'm going to let Claire come forward, and I will unmute you, Claire, in just a second. All right, should be ready whenever you are, Claire.
Okay, go ahead and share my screen here. Okay, so today I'm going to show you guys how to create a neon text effect in Adobe Illustrator. Okay, so first I just started with a new document here. It's an 8.5 by 11 sideways. And then I'm going to go in and grab the text tool. And I'll just use the word create in all capital letters. And I'm going to go in and use the font. We'll do Arial rounded, bold. And then I'm going to go ahead and do for the size of the font, I'm going to go with 180. Oops. And I'll make this, drag this over a little bit. Okay. And I'm just going to make sure that's centered. And then I'm going to go in and I'm going to put a stroke on it. And for the stroke, I'm going to do 12 point. Okay. And then I'm going to go ahead and press Command and C and then Command V and just make a copy of that. So then for the top one here, I'm going to go ahead and take out the actual main fill and just leave the stroke. And then for this one, I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing, except now I'm going to change the stroke to be 2. Okay. And actually for this one, I do want the fill. Okay. So then for the top one, I'm just going to change the color and I'm just going to change it to this pretty magenta color and then do the same for the stroke. And then this one, I'm going to go in and I'll change it to magenta, but I want it to be lighter because this is going to give it the neon effect. So we could always change this later on, but I'll put it there. So then for the bigger one, I'm going to go in and I'm going to go to Effects and then Blur and then Gaussian Blur. And I want that to be, we'll go in. I want it to be around a 6. So we'll do 6.7945 pixels. Okay. And then I'm just going to move that down. And then since I created this one last, it should be able to just go on top of that one real quick. And I'm going to go ahead and go to Object and then group them. So then those two are together. So whenever I move it, then they're together with one another. And then to really make this pop, I am going to go ahead and I'll change the name on that layer. And I'm going to create a new layer and bring it behind that other one. And then I'm going to go in and change the color to black. We don't want a stroke on that. And then I'm pretty much just going to give it a background that is black. Oops. Move that guy over a little bit. Ready? And I'll just rename that as background. Alrighty, I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial and I was glad that I could be able to share it with you.
Thank you, Claire. And Claire, one thing she's not mentioning, she actually is quite wonderful at typography. She's always doing interesting logo types. And so if you're somebody who's looking for new branding, you'll want to get in touch with Millikin Creates because Claire will definitely probably enjoy working on the logo for you. Thank you so much, Claire. And I'm going to let Mike on in just a second. I'll let Mike get ready. And you should be unmuted, Mike.
All right, so I'm going to be showing you guys how to do a reactive audio spectrum waveform with some wave effects. And After Effects. So to start off, you want to have your sound in here, and then you start your composition. You got to layer new solid like there. And then I already did mine. And then after that, you want to go to make sure your composition is selected, and then you go to Effect and Audio, generate audio spectrum, and then you have this line appear. So then if you want to extend this, you can go to the start point and bring it more towards the left by doing this. And then same for the end point, drag it to the right to go to the right. And then if you want to have it show some effect, you can just go to the audio layer over here and then click the sound file that you want to animate. And then as you see, it'll do that. But then you can also change the color, whatever you want. So I'll change this to a blue. And then the outside color to a cyan. They have like a really good contrast. And then as you see, the color changed. And then another cool effect is that you can come down to the hue interpolation, even add even more color to it, as you can see. And then if you want to have more height to this, you can come over to the maximum height right here. And then also come to the audio duration, give it more of like a line effect. And then if you want to have it show either like the top half, you come over to side A, and then it would only animate the top half, as you can see. And then same for the bottom, you come over to side B, and then it would only animate the bottom. I personally like to just have both because you see both sides. And then another thing that you can also do is you can come over to the effects and presets. And if you want to have it be like a circle, go to distort. And then you find the one that will say polar coordinates. And then you change the interpolation from 0 to 100. But then you want to have it go from rect to polar in order to have that circle shape. So then you have it in a circle. Then as you see, it'll animate in a circle. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed and learned something in After Effects.
All right, thank you, Mike. Mike was showing how you can animate audio in After Effects. Unfortunately, it's hard to see, hard to hear the rendering across Zoom as quickly as he's showing it, probably on his screen. But it is a really cool effect. It's quite nice on the background of like a motion graphics piece to see audio animated along. Mike was one of our 2 students who did a animation for our client this last fall. So I know animation is something he's particularly passionate about. I'm going to go ahead and let our next student forward, which is Millie. So I'm going to let you have the screen, and I'm going to invite you to unmute.
All right, hey guys, I'm going to be doing a little crash course on how to take pictures in manual on a camera. So first we have aperture. And this refers to the opening of the lens and the diaphragm, which is what allows light to come in. So the lower your f-stop is, the higher your exposure will be, which will also make your lens wider. So this helps if you want a more blurry background for your picture. So you would set your aperture lower if you want your subject to be clear and your background to be blurry. But if you want your lighting to be darker, you would choose a higher number f-stop, which would then bring out all the details in your photo, and you wouldn't just have your subject clear, you would have everything in focus. Next, we have shutter speed, and that is the amount of time the camera shutter is open to expose light to the camera. So this is good for adding a blurry effect to your photo if you're shooting motion or action shots. So you would have a slower shutter speed if you would want a blurred photo of an action of some kind, or if you want your action shot to be super clear and crisp, you would have a faster shutter speed. Next, we have ISO, and that is the lighting sensitivity in your pictures. So the lower ISO, less ISO, would be brighter, and it would have less grain. So if you have a higher ISO, you would have a lot of noise in your picture, which is grain. So you want to make sure you have a good in between. I usually shoot in about 200 to 400 because you don't want it to be too high, because then it messes with your focus a little bit and can kind of change your style to your photo a little bit. Then there's white balance, and that is more for the coloring and the tone of your photo. So there's settings such as daylight, cloudy, and shade for more outdoor pictures, and cloudy and shade kind of add a more warm tone to your photo. But if you're shooting inside, you can choose between like tungsten or fluorescent for bright studio lights or bright lamps, whether it be like a white tone lamp or like yellow. So you can change your white balance to help with the overall tone of your picture there. And ta-da, that's everything for how to shoot in a manual setting on your camera. Thank you.
Thank you, Millie. Millie was one of our 2 students that did a quite large fashion photography shoot for a client this past fall. Turned out really nice. They take advantage of our new to us photo studio that has been recently moved to Aston Hall. So it's nice to see client work being made in that new studio. Thank you so much, Millie. We're going to bring up Therese, who is the other student who was doing photography with you. So Therese, whenever you're ready.
Hey, okay, so let's see. Okay, so I'm just gonna show everybody how to do like a simple, professional kind of like edit to a picture after you get your picture done. So right here we have a picture that was actually taken by Millie, and really what I like to do when I edit is I stay in light and color. I don't go too much in effects or detail because I feel like they just kind of ruin the picture of what you're doing. So first, what I like to do is start off with the exposure, because that kind of sets the tone for your entire picture. Whatever you do here is going to be affected by everything else. So I will kind of like move it up depending on my subject and like what I want to be seen in the picture. So we'll move it up a little bit. And then going to the contrast, as you see, the further we go down, the more kind of like black and whitish the picture looks, and kind of the more we go up, the more the colors start to pop. So you want to always find like a medium between them two. And I will go to about +10 to just start to see the colors of the suit pop out. Next, you go with highlights. As you see, the lower you go, the darker it gets, and the higher, the brighter. You don't want to overexpose your subject. So depending on my exposure, I will always try to do the opposite of it to even it out so that it's not too bright and it doesn't look like we have a harsh light on them. Right, and then play with the shadows. That everything corresponds with the same thing. Just as it's just letting you nitpick at certain things. So I'll try to turn my shadows down and bump the whites up a little bit. Take our blacks down to have it focus on our subject. And then your temp is either if you want it to be a cool or a warm color. I always just leave the cool alone unless I'm going for like a cooler, warmish tone. But your saturation is where a lot of your colors will come out. As you see, the lower the saturation, we have no colors left. So depending on what I'm shooting and how I want it to look at the end, I'll bump those up a little bit so that we can have our colors pop out a little bit more. And then as you see, once I increase my saturation. My target looks like a little glow on them. And if we want to turn that down, we'll just go mess around with some of our shadows and whites. Increase our blacks a little bit. And yeah, and that's it. That's how I just simple edit photos for a client or just for fun, and how some of our photos turned out for a shoot that we did.
Thank you, Therese. Therese was actually the staff member who made the promo video. So if you saw the promo video that made you come to this event, you can thank Therese for that. He was want to do something fun and lighthearted, inspired by the Full House sitcom and their sort of intro. So hopefully it made you giggle if you watched that promo video. Next up is Danielle. Danielle is our account manager this semester, and previously she was our social media director. So she's had a number of different roles in Millikin Creates. Whenever you're ready, Danielle.
Alrighty, hello everyone. Gonna share my screen here. Alrighty, so here I wanted to give you guys a few tips about account management and how it has helped me through this semester as being a new account manager. So I hope these tips can help you, and if you want to become an account manager, whether it's for Millikin Creates or like another thing that you're doing in the future. So starting off, I would have to say that staying organized is a big thing of being an account manager. I know personally for me, I have to stay on track and stay organized with all my proposals and contracts, and making sure that each client is getting one sent out, as well as being on track and organized with all my invoices. Another thing is keeping track of projects and who is in charge for each project. It could get a little bit hectic. Sometimes we have like a busy point in time where we have a lot more clients come in, and so there could be multiple people that are
Danielle.
Other thing would be is to establish relationships with others, and this is with the student leaders, with your personal leader, and with other students. Um, and then also keeping track of emails is a big one. Being the account manager, you're pretty much always sending out emails to everyone, and you want to make sure that you don't get too caught up in all the emails and that people are responding in a timely manner. And lastly, I would have to say you would want to work well with your clients. Some clients can need more than other clients, and you want to make sure that all their needs are being met and that they're leaving away being a satisfied customer, because they could potentially come back to you and they can um, say how good Millikin Creates was, and then there could be more people that would want to come to Millikin Creates due to that satisfied customer. So there really is a lot going into being an account manager, and I hope this has helped you out a little bit. One last tip that I will say is um, have like a planner of some sort for you, or like an organizer or something like that. I personally use my phone, and I keep track of all the deadlines for this class in my phone. Um, some people could be easier to actually write it down in their planner, but that's also a good tip to have whenever you're being an account manager. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Danielle. We appreciate also obviously your service this whole past semester as an account manager. I always say the account manager is the one that keeps us all in line, keeps us from, not forgetting to have, the client actually follow through from the invoice to contract, all of that part of the process. So it's important. Next up, we have CJ. CJ is our current social media director. So I'll let CJ take it away as soon as I unmute you.
Hey guys, I hope you guys can hear me. All right, so today I'm going to be talking about how to engage with your Instagram followers. So first of all, you need to know what Instagram is. So basically, Instagram is an American photo and video sharing app, and people can upload their photos and videos, and in turn, those followers can like, comment, share, and do a number of things with those posts. And with Instagram, it comes with a lot of features that you can basically engage with your followers, whether you are just an average Joe hanging out on Instagram, or if you are a business trying to grow your following. So the first way is through Instagram stories. And so they describe Instagram stories as a way to share all your moments of your day, not just the ones you want to keep on your profile. And with Instagram stories, you can share multiple photos and videos. So I have a tutorial of myself using Instagram stories. So basically, you can find all of the features on here if you go to your profile picture of your Instagram page, up here, you find all of your stuff there. So first, you see me scrolling through a bunch of the filters that you can use. And then you first off would take a picture or a video, whatever you'd like. And then with Instagram stories, you can draw in there, as you can see here, and you can use a lot of different colors if you'd like as well. And then with Instagram stories, you have a lot of graphics or stickers that you can put on there as well. As you see me scroll through there. So a couple that I feature is a hashtag sticker. So you can type in a different hashtag if you'd like. You also have polling graphics and stickers that you can use, in which if your followers see your story, they can answer yes or no to your question that you put on your polling. And then you have a quiz sticker or graphic in which you can basically quiz your followers if they see on your Instagram story. So they can basically click whatever option or answer they think is right, and you can see me, I click and see whichever I want the answer to be right or not. And then the last thing I feature on here is a reacting graphic. So basically, your Instagram followers can basically slide this button all the way up to the top or the bottom to react to a question, your picture, a video, or whatever is on your story. Okay, and so the next feature is Instagram Reels, and this is the latest feature on Instagram that they just rolled out. So Instagram Reels is basically a new way to create or discover short and entertaining videos. And if you use Instagram Reels, it allows you to record up to either 15-second or 30-second videos. So the tutorial here, you go to the same place on your little story, and then you slide to your reels. You can choose the length that you'd like to have your video or your different music or sound. So for here, I chose a Christmas song because to get in the Christmas spirit. And then you use this little slider here to basically start wherever the sound you'd like it to be. So I started around like 35 seconds. And then you can choose the recording speed if you want. I play around a little bit here. I just chose a regular recording speed. And then you have your different effects as well on your Instagram graphics and stuff. And if you really want, you can use a timer. So then you record your video. It's just me lip singing to the song. And then when you're ready, you press the little button and have your finished video. So again, right here, you have your graphics and your stickers that you can use. So I chose a little mood sticker because it's almost Christmas time. And then you can also draw on your Instagram Reels as well. And then that's the final video. All right, and so the last feature is Instagram Live. Now, this is one of the older Instagram features that they have here. And basically with Instagram Live, you're able to broadcast video to your followers in real time. And with Instagram Live, you can have guests on the stream, and you can also have followers ask questions. You can ask questions to your followers, and there's so much more that you can do with it. And so again, you go to your same place and you scroll at the bottom all the way to live. And at first you will want to put a title to basically let your followers know why you're going live, as you see I do here. And then another feature underneath the title, the little heart, basically allows you to select a nonprofit for your Instagram Live. So if you want to raise a fundraiser during your live and your followers can donate, you can do so. I chose Millikin for the fun of it. And then you have your different filters and graphics as well. And then when you're ready, you just press the little button here and it will alert your 23 followers if they're active at that time, or the followers who aren't active on Instagram, and it'll let you know, it'll let them know when you're going live so they can join you. All right, so to conclude, Instagram has a lot of features that you can use. Those 3, Instagram stories, Instagram Reels, and Live, is just the few that you can use to engage with your followers more. So if you use Instagram stories, you can share multiple photos and videos with your followers using graphics, and you can draw over it. You can also use Instagram Reels to create or discover with your followers entertaining videos. And then if you use Instagram Live, you can also broadcast your video to followers and they can interact with you as you go. So I hope the tutorial helps you guys engage with your Instagram followers a little bit more. Thank you.
Thank you, CJ. I think you proved why you're our social media director. I think I need to personally step up my Instagram game after looking at all the filters and fun things that you add. It makes it definitely a lot more exciting and ways to engage. And I love the idea of tapping into a nonprofit. So hopefully somebody else also does that for Millikin, because we love it when people donate. All right, we're going to bring in our next student, which is Nico. Nico is, he has a number of skills, but he's been very busy this semester with video work. When the world switched to dealing with a major pandemic and being online a lot more, our video requests for Millikin Create skyrocketed. So Nico has been leading several of those projects. So I'm going to unmute Nico and let him take it away.
Hi everyone. So today I'm going to show you guys how to do a simple, well, can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, you can. All right, perfect. So today I'm going to show you how to do a simple masking transition. This is something that I love. You can get so creative with it. So it just fits for all scenarios. So to start off with, we obviously need some footage to work with. So I already have my clips up in my footage bin up here. So you can double click it and you can scroll through, and I already have my sections picked out. So in order to select the quick section, you're going to do I for in point and O for out point, and then you can actually just drag that little part into your timeline. So as we see here, we have this nice little clip. So I'm going to drag that and go back to our bin and drag the second clip I'm going to be using. It's already picked out which parts I want to use. So for this, what we're going to be doing, I'll show you the final product just so we can get an idea, but it's just a simple masking transition just to add a little bit to your videos. So we're going to start off, we need to align the 2 videos. So I know that I want my first video or my second video to come through here. So I'm just going to drag, make sure it's underneath because we're going to be cutting all this out. So to start with this first clip, I'm going to choose a point where I want my mask to start. This is about a good spot because that's where we have most of the screen covered up. So I'm going to do Command K, or you can also do C and it brings up your cut tool. I just like quick keys because they're easier. But then we're going to select that clip and then effect controls, and we're going to go to opacity, and you can actually just choose the pen tool. It gives you options for a 4-point polygon, or you can create an ellipse max as well. I just go with the pen tool because it gives me more freedom with what I want to do here, especially. So we're just going to take this and just draw a simple mask on our image. I'm going to zoom out a little bit so I can see everything that I'm working on. And we're just going to complete the mask. And see, now we see our bottom clip, but we don't want that. We want to see the top clip, and we want this top left corner to be cut out. So I'm going to just hit inverted, and now we see that top clip with the lower clip showing through in this top corner. So we're just going to skip a few frames. You click on your timeline again. Right arrow is 1 frame. So I'm going to just go 3 frames, and we just adjust the mask as needed. I'm gonna do this bottom one over here. Oh. Oh, it doesn't like me today. There we go. And then we're just gonna make sure that's all covered. And we're gonna go back to our timeline, go a couple more frames. Oh, you know what? This is a learning lesson for all of us, especially myself. You have to set the mask path so it remembers where you were. So we're gonna go back, inverted, mask path, toggle on, so we have keyframes. And now we're gonna do that again. So we're gonna go back to timeline, a couple frames, see how it's in the same position. Then we're going to click on our mask so we can adjust it. And now we can move it however we want while that first frame mask stays there. So that's about good there. We're gonna go back to the timeline, a couple more frames here. Oops. Just dragging it out, following it out of the frame. And then we're just gonna finish it right here. Command Z is your best friend. Take notes. And then one more frame just to finish it off so we don't have a corner left. And that's just a simple mask right there. We got to fix a couple frames. So I'm gonna just go in. We see how this is covering too much. So we can just go back, adjust it how we need it, and it fixes that one frame while keeping the rest how we need them. So there's that. Let's check out the other frames. This little corner's peeking out, so we're just gonna cover that. Everything else looks good, so we're just gonna go back to the beginning and we're gonna adjust the mask feather. I usually like to do 20, especially in this case, because we have a little motion blur on this top left corner. But yeah, we can just run that through. Nice, smooth transition. This one's pretty easy because we have something that covers up the whole frame. As you can see, it just reveals, which I love to do. So a couple other examples of, I've used this in many of my works. This is just something simple I pulled together today. You can do it at home. Just mask out the bottle and it gives your viewer a different frame of view without causing that harsh cut that you might see. And then another one, it kind of obscures the view. So as we see here, we're focused on the subject. And as we're focused on the subject, the tree comes into play. It looks normal, but then there's two of them, which is kind of just a neat reveal that kind of throws your viewers off and makes them want to go back and rewatch. And they're kind of confused and caught off guard at first. So with this little trick, it makes your videos more dynamic and you can use it with literally anything. So yeah, that's my tutorial. I hope you learned a little bit about masking in Premiere. And yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Nico. I actually love masking techniques. I've done quite a bit of them in animation and After Effects. But it's nice to see your examples in Premiere too, to see how it works in video compared to animation. So thank you a lot. We're going to bring Dustin up. Dustin is our last student. Dustin, I think before this particular semester might have considered himself a bit more of a designer or an illustrator. And as this semester progressed, he also said yes to lots of video projects. So I think he's developed a lot of great skills and he's going to show off one of those now. So Dustin, whenever you're ready.
Alrighty, cool. Give me 1 second. For some reason, it's not letting me. There it is. All right, cool. All right, awesome. So all right, I'm going to do a quick tutorial of Logic Pro. Basically, I'm just going to run through a little few tools, show you guys just a few different things that you can do with Logic Pro. So first off, I need to fix the audio real quick, which is awesome. So here you can select where your output is. So right now it's going through my headset, but if I play the music right now, or the stuff that I am going to be doing, it won't let you guys hear it. So here's the little audio settings. You can change audio, where you record, a bunch of different stuff here, control surfaces, really cool stuff. So to start off, Logic Pro, I guess I'll just show you guys a little quick thing. So right here is where you can choose anything, like any sound that you want. Basically, there's just a bunch of stuff that people have uploaded to Logic Pro, free for you guys to use, whatnot. So we can choose a different instrument, whatever. We have instruments, genres, descriptors, just kind of like what kind of mood do you want your kind of music to be. So we'll go with woodwinds, and we'll have a nice little saxophone here. So we have this guy playing. We can click it and then have different sliders to adjust the volume of it. We can, let me double click it here. We can adjust the, we can actually zoom into it. Here it just kind of gives like different stuff that you want. Here's a nice little information tab, gives you the sliders instead of putting it down here, which is pretty cool. Here's a little help button if you guys have any questions, and if, as you guys can see, you can change. So like it says track header area where it follows all your tracks. Whatever you hover over, it'll tell you what it does. So we will zoom into this guy. There it is. We can expand it. We can put it in a loop kind of thing. And with this little guy, you can even trim out. So if I click here, when you get that little plus sign, you can kind of click and drag and cut different stuff. Yeah. Okay. So then when I play it, it'll kind of stop here. And this works with a lot of different stuff. So for a last project I just did just the other day, I had to go through and insert, I had to make music for it, whatnot. So I had some drums, our little beat to it. And we'll throw something together. So when you click on something, you can preview the sound as well. So there's just a bunch of different beats. We'll try finding a nice little shadow beat with it, not like a get off beats. Click hits. So basically you just kind of go through, kind of find what you like. I seen a funky one. All right, this seems pretty cool, right? So we throw it in, and then you can play it, see if it goes well together. Which that sounds pretty nice, right? So we will, we can add a loop to it. I can delete these guys. Erase, erase. And then we can add a loop here. So as you guys can see, it is, we can adjust the loop size. So we can just put it down to where our music is. So when we click play, it'll play the sounds over and over again. And it'll just keep on looping that over. So you guys can go through here and click whatever and throw a whole ensemble together and make something sound really cool. You can keep on layering it, stuff like that. So right here, if you want to add your voice, add music, add your own instrument kind of thing, make it unique, you can click this record button, which I'm not much of a singer myself, so I'm not gonna really sing too much, but when you guys click record, it'll give a little tempo and you guys can talk or sing over it. So when I click stop, you guys hear me kind of over it. So that's just a little run through on how to throw stuff together. And if I wanted my audio to be a little louder, if I click the audio one, I can adjust the slider up, make me louder. If the music was a little too loud, like the sax was a little loud, I can adjust the slider here and make it a little bit quieter. I can enhance the drums and, just kind of mess around with it. And you can throw on a whole ensemble together and yeah, make it yours. And that is Logic Pro for you guys.
Thank you so much, Dustin. And I think it's important to note that, you know, you can't make a great video without having great audio. So these skills are really important for people who are doing primary audio work or secondary audio work for a video or an animation. Thank you everybody for coming. I have a quick link I want to show you. So I'm going to share my screen. This is the course event page that you have seen. And these are the students who spent their time putting these presentations together for you. At the bottom, you will see there is an I donate link. So I'm going to ask and encourage that you think about donating. This helps keeps our student-run business going. It takes technology to keep it going. It takes advertising to to reach our clients. And obviously our students put time into doing these presentations. So we'd love your support. You can click here and you will see the I donate information and how to donate. This actual recording, if you want to watch it again and go back and try some of these techniques, I will post this recording in the coming days. I'm going to go tighten it up a little bit, but then I'll start to share it in our Arts Tech Expo and you'll find it there. Thank you everybody for coming, and I hope you enjoyed it.